Your mind is like a fertile garden, and your thoughts are the seeds. And whatever you plant in terms of your seeds will grow.
Hello and welcome to Pillars of Wealth Creation, where we talk about creating financial success with a special focus on business and real estate. I'm your host, Todd Dexheimer. Now, let's get to it. Hey, hello, and welcome back to Pillars of Wealth Creation. We've got a special episode today. We had Trevor McGregor, Coach Trevor McGregor. He's been on the podcast several times. We had him at our conference, the Northstar Real Estate Conference. And I just thought this would be great to share. He talks a lot about, obviously mindset. That's kind of his main thing. And he talks to us about, really just getting out of our own way. There's a lot of fear right now in the market and all that kind of stuff. And we make excuses. We are always constantly making excuses to ourselves of why we can't do certain things. And Trevor helps debunk a lot of those things. So Matt, you were there. I was there. I always love hearing him speak. I think everybody that was there really enjoyed hearing him speak. What'd you think?
I mean, it's always powerful to hear Trevor, and I always find myself shifting my mindset, trying to keep make things one notch better. And I think that's the real point of this episode with Trevor is take it to the next level. Even if you just push it a little bit and stay consistent, you're going to achieve better results.
Yeah, get your notepads out. Every time I listen to him speak, I take a bunch of notes. And even if he's talked about the same thing, I'm still taking notes because you just need it, right? You need it, and I find myself very into what he's saying. So get your notepads out. Get ready to write a ton of notes. And if you're driving, of course, don't get your notepad out, but listen to it. You're probably going to want to listen to it a couple times. So. Buckle your seatbelts. It's going to be a great episode.
Wow. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Todd. That was a very warm welcome. Good morning, everyone. How y'all doing out there? Everybody doing well?
Yep.
Excellent. Can you hear me okay, everyone? Yes? Excellent. I'm getting it from the tech team here. Well, I am blessed and grateful to be here with all of you this morning, and you guys better fasten up your seatbelts because you just heard Todd tell a little bit about, how I've been able to support him on his journey. Well, I'm here this morning to support you. And I'm telling you, what I'm about to share in the next 30 minutes could absolutely change your life and your bank account. And that's a tall order, but I don't fool around. I'm a high performance, peak performance master platinum coach. I've done well over 30,000 coaching sessions. I've worked with and for the man, the myth, the legend, Tony Robbins for half a decade. But I'm also a real estate investor just like you guys. So it doesn't matter if you're new to real estate, doesn't matter if you're an intermediate in real estate, doesn't matter if you're an expert in real estate. Everything I'm about to share in the next 25, 30 minutes is going to apply to you. And if you want to take some notes as we go, feel free. And I'm telling you, it's not just about the information I'm going to give you. It's about the application of the information I'm going to give you. Just like Todd says, information without action is merely entertainment. So I don't want you to sit there passively. I want you to take this in actively, sit up in your chair, take a deep breath, turn to your neighbor, give them a high five and say, let's do this.
Let's do this.
All right. I'm going to pull up my PowerPoint and tech team. If you could just confirm when you can see it, that way we're going to be good to go. Can you see that, folks?
Yes.
Excellent. So I'm going to kick it off here, folks. Welcome to the Northstar Real Estate Conference. It's Monday, May the 2nd, and you're here for a little bit of what Coach T calls mindset mastery for real estate investors, how to bulletproof your mind for extraordinary or extraordinary success. And again, I am Coach T, a master coach, and let's dive right in. And as always, I like to kick it off with a question. So let me ask you, how's 2022 going for you so far? Are you guys on track with your real estate investing goals? And are you meeting those goals, or are you, making progress or spinning your wheels? Because let's face it, I don't know about you guys, but I've noticed that we've gone through January, February, March. Does anyone think that April just flew by? Well, I sure did, and I bet you did as well. So really, you want to remember that we're almost, 4 months through the year. We got 8 months left to kick some butt, and I'd like to know how you're doing. In fact, I'll ask you another question, and that is, where would you rate your mindset on a scale of 1 to 10 right now? And let's say 1 is low, like, man, I got some work to do, Coach T. And 10 is off the charts. I want everyone to take your pen and write down a number right now. Write down that number where you're at in your mindset as it relates to real estate right now. All right, now that you've got that down, it doesn't matter if you're a 4 or a 5. I want to help get you to a 6, 7, or an 8. Or if you're already at a 6, 7, or 8, what's preventing you from getting to an 8.5 or 9, right? Because as a high performance coach, I'll often ask my clients, like Todd Dexheimer, who I absolutely adore and love, and have not only worked with Todd as his coach, but I've invested with Todd because I really do believe that he does this work, the mindset work, where when I met him, he was probably at a 6, but now Todd operates clearly at an 8.5, 9, not once in a while, but every day. And so I'm going to ask you, what's preventing you from being like Todd? What's preventing you from being at that higher number, right? Because there's a great quote by my coach, my teacher, my mentor, Mr. Tony Robbins, and he says, success is 80% mindset and 20% mechanics. And I just love that quote by Tony Robbins. You want to write that down. Success is 80% mindset and 20% mechanics. And what you're there to learn today is a little bit of both. You're going to talk about mindset with me to kick off the day. And then you've got just some absolute rock stars in the room that are going to give you a lot more of the mechanical stuff. Guys like Todd, like Drew, like Matt, and everyone else in the room. So I'm really excited. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I actually presented live and in person at the first Northstar conference, back in the day. So I'm pretty familiar with who that group is and just what an outstanding room you're in. But let's go back to you because we're really here to talk about this, your mindset. And so let's dive in. Because if you're going, come on, Trevor, my mindset's fine, right? I'll bet if I were to peek inside that beautiful brain of yours, that some of these things are coming up. Like, wow, it's tougher out there than ever before. Or all the good deals are gone. Or how about this one? It's way more competitive than it's been before. Or what about, inflation or interest rates? Has that come up for you? Or people aren't investing right now, Trevor. It's too risky. Has that come up? Or brokers aren't going to give me the best deals. Or how about this one? There's a war in Russia and Ukraine right now. Or what if the market crashes and what if I lose all my money? So look at that list right now. I'm going to take a sip of water and just check in with yourself. Are any of those things permeating your mind right now? Well, I'll bet that some of them are coming up either consciously or subconsciously. And we're here to take care of you this morning because some of those things are real. But I'm telling you this, please put this in your notes, that the facts don't count when you're committed. I'll say that again. The facts don't count when you're committed to doing what Todd does, doing what Drew does, doing what Matt does, doing what all of you are there to do, because real estate, is available to all of us. And you'll hear more about my journey in just a minute. But the reason I also know this, guys, is because here are some of the real estate rock stars that I coach. And this isn't me beating on my chest. This is just the absolute truth of the truth. So I want everybody to look around right now and, see how many familiar faces, see how many familiar names, see how many people have literally gone from, maybe owning a few single family properties where they say, this is not what I'm here to use to scale. And they start to get into multifamily or they start to get into commercial real estate and they have literally blown the doors off. Well, I want your picture to be up here next to Todd's and Joe Fairless and Dave Lindahl and Annie Dickerson and Julie Lamb and Tyler Chesser. Like, there are a lot of smart people that have applied what I'm about to share with you for the next 25 minutes. So let's dive right in because that's their competitive edge. It's this 3-pound mass between their ears called their brain because they've conditioned their mind for success. And that's exactly what we're here to do to kick this thing off. They've conditioned their mindset for success. And I want you guys to be able to soak this up. So I'm going to go through a real quick summary of what you're going to learn. But I first want to kick it off with a great quote. And this is my favorite quote. And you'll find this on my Facebook header if we ever link up on Facebook. And it comes from the late, great Jim Rohn. And he says that it's not the winds of change that blow on us that will determine where we'll end up. It's the set of the sail. And I just love that. And again, it's from Jim Rohn. He says, it's not the winds of change that blow on us that will determine where we'll end up. It's the set of the sail. And who's responsible for setting your sail? Well, you're responsible for setting your sail. Todd's responsible for his. I'm responsible for mine. But I'm telling you, it's not the winds that blow on you like the economic wind, the political wind, the interest rate wind. All of those winds, guys, are going to blow. But it's not those winds that will determine where you end up. It's the set of the sail. So I want to ask you, where will you end up at the end of this year? Will you be like this, upside down? Or would you be like Todd, who's out there sailing the seas with Tracy and the kids? Well, I want you to be on the sailboat on the right. So with that said, let's dive in. And who's this for? Well, again, this is for you if you're a real estate investor who's committed to buying real estate. You're decisive and you're going to make decisions. You're coachable at this conference and anywhere else you go to learn from others. And folks, you got to be resourceful. It's just like when I take on a new coaching client, I've got to only work with at this stage of my career, people that are committed, decisive, coachable, and resourceful. So check in with those words. And if you're not any of those things, you're in the wrong room. Okay. Well, I don't see any of you scrambling for the exits. So let's keep going. And who am I to be sharing all of this? Well, real quick, guys. Again, I'm Coach Trevor McGregor, also known as Coach T. And I'm a master platinum coach, a mindset master, a business strategist. I coach a lot of Fortune 500 executives, business owners, doctors, lawyers, real estate investors, Olympians, athletes, those sorts of things. Again, I've done over 30,000 of these types of coaching sessions. And I don't say that to beat on my chest. That's an actual statistic. But again, I'm also an active and passive real estate investor. I do a lot of stuff up here in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, where I'm from. But I also invest in places like Nashville, in Florida, in the Carolinas, in Austin, in Dallas, in, Indiana, in, Colorado. So mainly multifamily, some self-storage, right? But I also do some impact investing in retreat centers in Costa Rica. And my wife and I own shares in a modular building company as far away as Australia, right? My journey, real quick, is I worked in corporate for 20 years. I literally made some money and then lost a ton of it. And then ultimately went on to work for Tony Robbins for over half a decade as one of his top coaches. I then started my own coaching division, Trevor McGregor International. I yak on stages all over the world just like this. And again, I live with my beautiful wife, Lisa, and my 3 sons in Vancouver, Canada. So with that, what's the point? Well, here's the rub, guys. All of this has truly given me a beautiful and incredible perspective on what allows real estate investors to stay stuck and what allows them to go out there and thrive in any environment and truly create financial freedom and time freedom in their life, right? And that's what I'm going to give you right now. So here's what you're going to learn: why your mind is like a fertile garden, the 4 S words that'll change your life and your bank account, how to build what I call a better real estate belief table, how to climb the ladder of success, and I'm going to leave you with a 30-day Coach T challenge. And I'm going to go quick, guys, so that we can get you back to Todd and back to, kicking some butt live. But I want you to turn to your neighbor, give him a high five and say, I love this.
I love this.
All right. Well, let's kick it off with this, because what are your biggest problems or challenges you're having right now in real estate? Because I believe that every problem you're facing is a problem of perspective. Guys, any problem you're facing is the universe's way of giving you the opportunity to build some muscle, ask some questions, find somebody to help you, right? And let me ask you this: what lens have you been seeing your problems through? What have you been focusing on lately? Because again, where focus goes, energy flows. And believe it or not, your brain, your mind is like a fertile garden, and your thoughts are the seeds. Let's make sure you get that. Your mind is like a fertile garden, and your thoughts are the seeds. And whatever you plant in terms of your seeds will grow. If you want to plant great seeds and have a beautiful harvest, that's going to be your reality. And if you plant poor seeds, or maybe your mindset's not conditioned to success, well, you're going to grow that crop because the soil doesn't care, right? So I'm asking you, are you planting powerful, positive thoughts about what you're capable of doing, or negative thoughts about why it's so hard, right? Because most of us have what are called ants. And please put this down in your notes. I'd probably, hallucinate that you've never seen this before. But ants are those little things that crawl around your brain called automatic negative thoughts. So believe it or not, you've got ants. I've even got some ants. Tony Robbins has ants. but we're here to reduce the number of ants. Let's pretend we're spraying some Raid on it and get rid of some of those right now. And there's 4 words that all start with the letter S that will absolutely spray those ants and change your life. And I'm going to kick it off with these 4 words because I want you to be able to really own these on a daily basis as we move forward. So some of you may have heard this before. Some of you will be new to this, but let's just give you the 4 words. And I want you to jot these down, and then I'll go into a real quick summary of them. Here we go. And the first one is your state. The second one is your story. The third one is your standards. And yes, the fourth and final one is your strategy. So again, jot those down real quick because we're going to go into a quick summary of what all of those are in real estate. They're your state, your story, your standards, and your strategy. So let's do this because guys, the first one is your state, and your state refers to how you show up in your mind each and every day, right? It's really how you're showing up in your mind, right? Or how you show up in your body. How do you feel when you wake up and you're about to work on your real estate empire? Because how you show up in your mind and body is going to create a vibration and a frequency for you to go out there and either kick some butt or to kind of stay stuck, right? It's really where you put your focus. It's almost like I said, are you focused on what you don't want, or are you focused like Todd on what you do want, right? Todd is a man of family. Todd's a man of faith, but Todd knows where he's going. Todd sets goals, right? He has a focus. So again, we're back to state management. We'll keep rocking here. That's how you show up in your mind, your body, your focus, and even the language you use. So let's go to the next one, which is your story. And guys, this is my favorite one because again, your story is really your identity. It's who you believe you are as a real estate investor, right? It's really how you define yourself, right? It's really, are you a victim to what's going on out there in the economy, or are you choosing to be a victor, right? And is your glass half empty or half full? Because your identity is that strongest force inside of you. The third thing, guys, is your standards. And this is a big one, right? We often talk about how you show up each and every day. So think about that. How are you owning your standards? What level have you committed to play at? And are you ensuring that you own your routines, habits, and rituals on a daily basis? And then the fourth one is really what Todd and the rest of this beautiful, room is going to give you this next day or two, which is your strategy. It's how you do the real estate. It's really having a recipe or a roadmap or a blueprint. It's putting in the work each and every day, and it's thinking who, not how. Because again, as I am a real estate investor, I know that it's not a, one size fits all, or that you can be, do, and have everything. So again, to really remind you, I want you to write these down, and I want you to own these 4 S's from here forward. You got to really check in every day. Where's your state? That's your focus. Where's your story? That's your identity. Where's your standards, and what's your commitment to what you're doing? And then what's your strategy, and how are you going to execute on it? And if you guys do that, that's the first thing in catapulting your success in real estate. Okay. And again, those are the 4 words that if you use every day, I do believe that they do give you the competitive edge over the competition. So the next thing I'm going to do, and we'll keep this tight, is I'm going to help you to build what's called a better real estate belief table. And Todd loves this exercise, and Todd has used this exercise. And so I'm going to teach it to you real quick. But really, building a better belief table is like thinking about a table where the top of the table represents your beliefs, and the legs are the references that hold up your beliefs. I'll say that again, guys. The tabletop is really your beliefs, and the legs are the references that hold up your beliefs. So if we go to your first table leg, and that first reference again is, I can't do any of the deals because of this pandemic, that's not a good table leg to have. Or number 2, all the good deals have been snatched up by other investors. Well, that's not true. They haven't all been snatched up. Todd's doing deals. I'm doing deals, right? Nobody's investing right now. It's too unpredictable. Well, last I checked, I'm investing, and I know a lot of people in that room are investing. I'll probably lose money if I do a deal. Prices are crazy high and don't make sense. Or you go over that 6 table leg, and I'll just wait until the dust settles, and then I'll get back at it. Well, guys, if you're working from the top of that belief table, let's say we put your desk up there and your chair, your computer and your phone and you work from the top of that table, what's going to happen? Well, it's going to be wobbly and it might even what? Fall down. And I don't want you to have a table that's weak or going to fall down, because at the end of the day, we tend to rationalize. And if you break that word into two, we tell ourselves rational lies. And I don't want you to lie to yourself. I want you to stand guard at the door of your mind and really own what you're doing to build a stronger and better belief table. And the best way to do that is to ask yourself some better questions. And I'll pop some of these up and go through them here, because I always like to say, what's the story I tell myself to justify that belief? Or is that story really true? And I mean really true. Who would I be without that belief or story? Or how could I alter or stop this old belief or story? Or my favorite one as a high performance coach, what's a new belief or story that serves me better? It's almost like we cut those old wobbly table legs off the table and we replace it with big, thick pillars of truth and support, right? And here's what it looks like. Because again, same table, the tabletop is your belief, but now we want to create pillars for legs by asking, is it really true? Or attach some new references. And if we go over to that first table leg and we go, well, I can't do any new deals because of this crazy pandemic, that then becomes, well, I'm committed to going out there and making real estate happen in any market, right? Or all the good deals have been snatched up by other investors. That becomes, well, you know what? There's a ton of good deals coming onto the market. Today, someone's going to list their building that wasn't for sale yesterday. Today, somebody's going to get diagnosed with heart disease and going to need to sell. Today, somebody's going to want to sell their property and move to Florida where it's warm. Today, somebody's going to, get served with divorce papers and they're going to have to sell their property. So guys, there's always deals coming onto the market. Nobody's investing right now. That's just not true. There's a ton of people that are just absolutely uncertain about the stock market or cryptocurrencies volatility, and they're putting their money into real estate, just like I am. I'll probably lose money becomes, well, if I follow fundamentals like Todd does, I can make a lot of money, right? Prices are crazy high right now and deals don't make sense. You got to rewrite that story, guys, that there are always deals out there. You might have to underwrite more of them, but I'm telling you, if you stay the course, you will find deals. Or I'll just coast till the dust settles, Coach T, and wait till it's all over with. You guys have to condition your mind like Todd, and Drew and Matt and the rest of people to say, you know what? I could do business in any market. Now, imagine if you put your desk on top of that belief table and you put your chair, your computer, and your cup of coffee and your phone up there, and you work from the top of that belief table. What happens? You absolutely start crushing it. But again, it all comes back to your mindset. The final thing I'll take you through today is called the real estate investor ladder of success. And again, this will get the mind going in a good way, because I want you to think about your mind like a ladder with 6 rungs going up. Okay. So picture a ladder with 6 rungs going up from the bottom. Okay. And I'm going to give you a name for each of these independent rungs, starting on the left side and at the bottom, where, you know what, guys, in real estate, you can show up poor or you can show up good. Those are the first 2 levels. Now, if you show up as a poor landlord, you're in trouble. You show up as a good landlord, well, good isn't good enough anymore, right? You got to go up higher on the ladder. Rung number 3 is called great. So these are the 3 levels that you can choose to play at, but these are also below the line, right? And I don't coach anybody that really wants to live a life below the line in anything, because there's 3 rungs available to you. As we go up from poor up to good and good up to great, the next rung is where you show up excellent. Now you're an excellent landlord. You're an excellent underwriter. You're an excellent, partner, but there's still 2 levels left. The 5th level is what I call outstanding. And then we move from outstanding to what I love about Todd and a lot of the people I coach, which is extraordinary or extraordinary, because there's a direct correlation to where you choose to play at on the other side of the ladder. And here's what it looks like. Because if you show up poor today, guys, you get pain, P-A-I-N. If you show up good today, you get poor results. Good isn't good enough anymore. When you start to show up great, now you start to get good results. But again, folks, those are below the line. And I want to start moving you to playing above the line, because when you show up excellent in real estate, you start to get great results. And now you should see a pattern happening from the left to the right. If you show up outstanding in today's real estate world, you get excellent results. And then if you show out extraordinary, you get outstanding results. So here's my question for you. You guys ready for this? I want to know where you're playing in several different areas in real estate, right? Because ultimately it's going to tell me where your effort is. And I also want to show you that it only takes a little bit of extra effort to keep climbing the ladder of success. In fact, here's a little bit of, something that'll give it some perspective. But for you to go from poor to good is a huge jump, right? It's about a mile of you having to go the distance. But if you go from good to great, it's only like a yard. So the measurements get smaller as we go up the ladder. The more effort you put in, the more extra effort you put in. To go from, great up to excellent is literally only a foot of extra effort. To go from excellent to outstanding is what I call 6 inches. And then for you people out there that want to go from outstanding to extraordinary or extraordinary is just what we call a 2 millimeter shift. A 2 millimeter shift. That's it. So again, the effort that's required for you to keep up leveling, it gets smaller and smaller the more you commit, the more you play full out, the more you use those 4 S's, and the more you build your belief table. But I also, want to ask you specifics. Like if I were to say to you, look at those rungs and where are you showing up and strategically planning out your day, where would you put yourself on the ladder right now, right? Or maybe where would you be talking to real estate brokers or agents? Where would you rate yourself? Or looking at market data with precision, underwriting or vetting deals, right? Attending meetups, running your properties, checking in and getting in with limiting beliefs, setting up your short-term and long-term goals, raising capital, creating solid systems that support you day in or day out, or improving or negotiating or speaking with authority. Because guys, you can pick any part of what you're doing in real estate, and rate where you are on the ladder, and then commit to deciding that you're going up by, reading great books or attending great conferences like the Northstar, right? Or hiring a coach, listening to podcasts. There's lots of things you can do. And it doesn't just, show up in your real estate life, guys. It shows up in your personal life as well. In fact, where are you showing up in your diet on the ladder right now? Like, be honest, where would you put yourself? Or how about with your significant other? No, Trevor, not that one. Yep, that one. Or how about with your kids or with your parents or grandparents? How about working out? Where are you showing up in tracking your finances? Where would you rate yourself in personal growth? Something that Todd and I are, near and dear to our heart, right? What about having some fun, planning out your next trip, having an attitude of gratitude, things that I do to help me out, like meditation, doing some random acts of kindness, reading great books, or even giving to charity? Because I'll tell you guys, the commitment you make to all of these things and where you are on that ladder of success with a defiant commitment to go up, you will absolutely start to achieve higher levels of everything you want in life. So as we get ready to wrap up, it's time to draw that line in the sand, folks, right? What is it that I've spit out this morning and that you've learned today that you're committed to applying as a real estate investor, right? What is it? I mean, maybe for you, it's you owning those 4 S words at a higher level. Maybe it's you building a better real estate belief table. Or maybe it's your commitment to climbing this beautiful real estate ladder of success. So when you commit to using these and making these mindset shifts, like Todd says, everything starts to change. And get fired up, guys, because it's time to dream again. I mean, what goals and outcomes would truly light you up? And when you use this stuff daily, it starts to open the door to what I call more deals, more wealth, and more freedom. Just like all of these other real estate rock stars that I coach. So with that said, folks, remember what Tony says. He says, success leaves clues. And it's absolutely true. So I'm going to send you off what I'm going to call my 30-day Coach T challenge. And that is take the next 30 days and commit to applying something that you've learned today. Please do it. Because when you take extreme ownership over this and you apply these concepts in your life, you'll start to achieve higher levels of real estate success, and you'll do it faster than you ever thought possible. And I'm going to leave you with one of my favorite quotes of all time. It comes again from the late, great Jim Rohn. And he says this, folks: Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. And I just love that. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. And who can get better? You can get better. I can get better. Todd can get better. And I believe that we are all better together. So with that said, I'm going to throw it back to the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Todd Dexheimer. Thanks for having me out this morning, folks. Have a tremendous conference, and remember to stay hungry and be passionate about real estate. And we'll catch up to you soon. Thanks, everyone, and bye for now.
Hey, thanks so much for listening. I appreciate you being a loyal listener. I would love to have you go on to our Facebook page and subscribe, give us a thumbs up, go on to iTunes or wherever you listen and give us a rating and review. Don't forget to subscribe. Your rating and review just helps us push this out to more and more people and continue to grow our audience and hopefully positively affect a ton of people out there that really need this and want this. So the other thing I've got for you is a free ebook on my website. So go on to venturedproperties.com, and download our free ebook on real estate and on syndication. And I've got some data points in there, some really good stuff for you. So I'd love to have you take a look at that. It's free. I'm not expecting anything from it. And also, look, if you want some help in multifamily, want some help learning, growing, getting your business off the ground, I would love to talk to you about what it would look like to work with me potentially and see if that's a good fit. So you can go to coachwithdex.com and check that out, and we can definitely have a call. Thanks a lot for listening. You make it a fantastic rest of the day. I'll catch you on the next episode.